The lighthouse keeper's daughter. On a jagged coast where waves rehearsed their anger, a lighthouse cast its calm circle of light each night. Its keeper, Govind, was steady as tide and ritual as dawn. His daughter, Sahana, grew up among brass polish, wick trimmers, and the smell of salt and oil. She loved climbing the spiral steps, palms on the cool stone, counting heartbeats until the lantern room opened to sky. One monsoon, Govind fell ill. Fever blurred his clockwork sense. "The light cannot falter," he whispered, sweat beading his brow. "Ships aim for it like swallows to summer." Sahana nodded, feeling a knot form beneath her ribs. The oil supply was late, trapped behind landslides and red tape. Sahana inventoried every drop, stretched wicks, and cleaned chimneys until the glass sang. She scavenged lamp oil from neighbors, bartered for candles, and learned the math of patience, how much flame equals how much safety, how every minute matters when a hull meets hidden rock. A storm rose, bully-shouldered and loud. The lantern's reservoir thinned to a worrying gleam. Sahana disassembled mirrors, angled them with cloth-bound hands to concentrate the remaining light. She fashioned a crude parabolic reflector from a battered cooking pot, hammered flat and polished with ash and grit. The beam sharpened, faint but focused. Through the sheets of rain, she imagined sailors hunched over charts, eyes searching for assurance. She wound the clockwork, checked the winds, and counted the swing. 1, 2, 3, breathe. The wind bullied the windows, the sea threw its weight against the cliff. Sahana kept time with the storm. Near midnight, a horn moaned, too close, too desperate. She grabbed Govind's old semaphore flags, ran onto the gallery, and signaled between gusts. A faint answer flickered, a ship, off course, too near the hungry reef. Sahana cranked the backup fog bell until her arms shook, pausing only to relight a sputtering wick. Minutes lengthened into a lifetime. At dawn, the storm sagged into spent anger. A cargo vessel drifted beyond the reef, engine scuffing but alive. Later, a dinghy reached the shore. The captain climbed the path with sea-tangled hair and eyes gone soft with relief. "Your light held when the sky didn't," he told Sahana. "We owe you our tomorrow." When the late all finally arrived, officials brought forms and frowns, then softened into thanks. They offered medals and speeches. Govind, thin but smiling, sat wrapped in blankets, watching his daughter accept nothing but a new ledger and a better mirror. "Our work is invisible until it isn't," she said. "Let's keep it invisible, then." The lighthouse returned to its quiet, nightly promise. Sahana kept the records, trained young keepers, and lobbied for a paved road so supplies would not depend on weather or whim. The beam swung, patient as breath. Ships passed, storms came and went. The coast remained a place of risk made bearable by a circle of human attention. Years later, when automation whispered at the door, Sahana argued not against the new, but for maintenance, oversight, and humility. "Machines don't feel the knot under your ribs," she told a committee. "Keepers do. Keep both. The light still turns, less by wick and more by wire, but its heart remembers the night a daughter made mirrors out of pots and will out of fear." Moral: silent, steady duties save lives. Real leadership is service that keeps shining when no one is watching.